Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody. Before we begin, let me introduce myself briefly. I'm Fadia Aitanagara and I'm a student of Islamic High School Miftahul Ulum Tanjung Pinang. Today I'm going to be talking about language development. I will begin with mention what definition of language development, and then I will explain the description and example of language development, classifications, sequence, comparison and contrast, cause and effect, problem and solution of language development, and finally I will give the reason why should we supported language development. Language development is an important part of child development. Learning to understand, use, and enjoy language is the first step in literacy and the basis for learning to read and write. Okay, we are begin with the first point. Definition of language development. Language development is the process through which children acquire the ability to process speech and communicate. During this process, a child may slowly understand basic linguistic patterns and expand their vocabulary gradually before achieving fluency. Although the stage of language development are universal, the rate at which each child progresses can vary. Content factors and can influence a child's language learning capabilities, including motivation, environment, gender, and physical development. Next, I'd like to talk about description and example of language development. From birth up to the age of 5, children develop language at a very rapid pace. The stage of language development are universal among humans. However, the age and the pace at which a child reaches each milestone of language development vary greatly among children. Thus, language development in an individual child must be compared with norms rather than with other individual children. Individual girls develop language at a faster rate than boys. More than any other aspect of development, language development reflects the growth and maturation of the brain. After the age of 5, it becomes much more difficult for most children to learn language. Perceptual language development, the ability to comprehend language, visual develop faster than expressive language, the ability to communicate. Two different styles of language development are recognized. In referential language development, children first speak single words and then join words together. First into two-word sentence and then into three-word sentence. In expressive language development, children first speak in long, unintelligible words that mimic the cadence and rhythm of adult speech. Most children use a combination this style. Let's move on and discuss about classification of language development. First, pre-linguistic stage. This stage occurs from birth to approximately 12 months of age. During this stage, infants communicate through non-verbal means such as crying, facial expressions, and body language. They also begin to make cooing and babbling sounds, and on 6 months of age, infants begin to recognize their own names and the names of familiar people and objects. Second, holophrastic or one-word stage. This text typically occurs between 12 until 18 months of age. Children begin to use single words to convey entire ideas or concepts such as mama or dada. They also begin to understand the meanings of many more words than they are able to say. Third, two-word stage. This stage typically occurs between 18 and 24 months of age. Children begin to combine words to form simple sentences, such as we go or more juice or more juice. At this stage, children are developing their understanding of basic grammar rules, such as subject, verb, agreement. Fourth, telegraphic stage. This stage typically occurs between 24 and 30 months to act. Children begin to use short, simple sentences that include only essential words such as Yogi, go outside. They may also begin to use pronouns and prepositions. Fifth, language explosion step. This step typically occurs around age 3, when children begin to rapidly acquire important vocabulary and grammatical structures. They become more adept at expressing complex ideas and emotions through language. 6. School age step. This step begins on age 5, when children begin to refine their language skills and learn more complex grammar rules. They also begin to use language for academic purposes, such as reading and writing. At this stage, children are able to understand abstract concepts and use language to express their thoughts and ideas in a more sophisticated way. The sequence of language development. Let's move on and discuss about comparison and contrast of language development. For the first is comparison of the first language and the second language. First, for overall success, children normally achieve perfect first language mastery, while adult second language learners are unlikely to achieve perfect second language mastery. Second, general failure. For the first language, success guaranteed, while at the second language, complete success rare. Third, variation. At the first language, little variation in degree of success or route, while second language learners vary in overall success and route. Fourth, goals. First language, target language competence. Second language learners may be content with less than target language competence or more concerned with fluency than accuracy. Fifth, for interaction, first language not needed, while second language helpful for or necessary. Sixth, negative evidence. For first language, correction not found and not necessary, while second language correction generally helpful or necessary. And the last point is effective factor. For the first language not involved, while at second language is play a major role determining proficiency. Next, I'd like to talk about the contrast of the first language and second language. For the first, in both first and second language acquisition, universal grammar may learning influence in second language learning. Universal grammar may influence learning either independently or through the first language. Next, in both first and second language acquisition, there are technical text and particular structure required in the second. Next, in both first and second language acquisition, making errors is a part of learning. Learners need to make and test hypotheses about language to build an internal representation of the language. Next, in both first and second language acquisitions, the learner uses context clues, prior knowledge, and interaction to compare language. Next, in both first and second language acquisitions, age is an important variable affecting proficiency. The next point, in both first and second language acquisitions, learners can often compare more complex language than they are able to produce. In the initial stage of learning, learners go through a silent grammars. Next, in both first and second language acquisition, a learner's proficiency can vary across situations. In both first and second language acquisition, learners may overgeneralize vocabulary or rules, using them in context rather than those in they should do this. The last point is in word acquisition. First and second language learners need comprehensible input and opportunities to learn language in context in order to increase their proficiency. Let me go into the other point, cause and effect of language development. For the first is healthy. Healthy children learn faster than children who don't speak well because motivation is stronger for being member of social groups and communicate with others. If the first 2 years of age, children experience content span. Children consider experience slowness or difficulty in the development of their discussion. Next, intelligence. Children who has high intelligence to learn speak more quickly and demonstrate mastery of the language than children with equal level of intelligence. Next, economic of the family. Several studies on the relationship between language development and family social status show that children who come from poor families less in language development than children from richer families. This condition is probably caused by learning difference or opportunities to second child language development or both. Family relations. Family relations. Healthy relationships between parents and children will be an opportunity for the development of children's language, whereas an unhealthy relationship will result in children experience difficulties or delays in language development. Next, family size. Single child or children from small families usually speak earlier and better than children from large families, because parents can set aside more time to teach their children to speak. Next, relationship with first. The more the children's relationship with them first, the more they want to be accepted as a peer group member, and the more powerful their motivation to learn to speak. The last cause of language development is personality. Children who can adapt or tend to have better speaking ability, both quantitatively and qualitatively. Let me go into the other point, problem and solution of language development. For the first is problem. Developmental speech and language disorder are a common reason for speech or language problems in kids. These learning disorders are caused by the brain working differently. Next, hearing loss. If your child is speech or language delayed, their hearing should be lost. Extreme environmental deprivation may cause hearing. If a child is neglected or abused and does not hear others speaking, they will not learn to speak. Prematurity can lead to many kids of developmental delays, including speech or language problems. Next, auditory processing disorder describes a problem with decoding speech sounds. These kids can improve with speech and language rapidly. Next, neurological problems like cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, and traumatic brain injury can affect the muscles needed for speaking. Autism affects communication. Speech-language communication problems are often an early sign of autism. Aphasia of speech is a specific speech disorder in which the child has difficulty in sequencing and executing speech movements. Selective mutism is when a child will not talk at all in content situations after school. The solution of the problem is treatment, treatment for speech and language delays. It is important to identify speech or language problems early so your child can begin treatment. Treatment should begin as soon as possible. Researchers show that children know a lot about language long before the first word is ever said. If your child needs treatment, it should be developmentally appropriate and individualized. Your child's treatment, train, your child's treatment team might include a doctor, an audiologist, a speech-language pathologist, an occupational therapist, and a social worker. Next, I like to talk about nonverbal ways to communicate with children. Children who are nonverbal or not communicating well enough due to hearing loss, autism, apraxia, or similar problems can use other methods. This including sign language, the picture exchange communication system, and augmentative and alternative communication. And the last point, I will give the reason why should be supported language development. Language development and literacy is no doubt a critical part of any child's overall development. It supports the ability for the child to communicate and express and understand feelings. It also supports your child's thinking ability and helps them develop and maintain relationships. Language development lays the foundation for the reading and writing skills in children as they enter and progress grade school. Language is needed for all aspects of their education in the classroom as they connect with peers and teachers and talk about their lives as they grow into adulthood. So, developing language skills is of absolute significance for the every child's progress in later lifespan both as social needs and in pursuit and education. Let's review point in this session. Language development is the process through which children acquire the ability to process speech and communicate. During this process, a child may slowly understand basic linguistic patterns and expand their vocabulary gradually before achieving fluency. Although the stakes of language development are universal, the rate at which each child progress can vary. Certain factors can influence a child's language learning capabilities, including motivation, environment, gender, and physical development. That's all I can mention to you. I hope it is useful. Thank you for your attention and see you next time.